Good morning, Ganesh.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. ಯಾಕೆ ಒಬ್ಬರೇ ಬಂದಿರೋದು ಯಾರು ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ? ಹಲೋ
ಸರ್ ಬರ್ಬೋದು ಈಗ ಎರಡು ನಿಮಿಷ
ವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ವಿಷಯ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾ?
ಹಾ ಸರ್, ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿದೀವಿ ಅಲ್ಲ.
ನೋಡಿದಾರ ಇನ್ನು
ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಒಂದು 10 ಜನ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
ಅದೇ ನೀವೇ ಒಂದು 10-15 ಜನ. Ganesh, shall I start?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, last class we discussed about measurement of force and torque measurement. So still we have to do torque measurement. In the force measurement, the force is nothing but gravitational attraction between the masses. The force measurement can be classified into two. One is direct measurement, other one is indirect measurement. That is nothing but direct comparison and indirect comparison. The direct comparison, the good example is analytical balance, and the good example for indirect comparison is electronic weighing machine. Already you have used in the chemistry lab and also in the many shops, grocery shops or vegetable shops, they are using electronic weighing machines. So these two are very, very important for force measurement. Next, come to the point. All of you seen the analytical balance in the chemistry laboratory for weighing of chemicals. Here you have two pans, left and right. The left is meant for keeping the standard dead weight, and the right is for unknown magnitude. That may be the chemical. By trial and error, you can bring the null balance. That is the indicator should read 0. That is the beam balance. That is nothing but symmetry of the beam. Next, come to the point, the multiple lever system or platform scale. You might have seen in all the vegetable shops, wholesale mandi or wholesale vegetable shops, they are using the platform scale for weighing of more than 10 kgs. So you can have the advantage of keeping the weight anywhere on the platform, so that you have the accurate measurement or accurate result. So here you have number of levers. For that reason, it is called a multiple lever system. That's for that reason it is called multiple lever system. Once again, the principle of operation of multiple lever system is keep the unknown weight anywhere on the platform. See, all of you observe here that W1, W2, and W. So anywhere you can keep the unknown magnitude or unknown weight on anywhere on the platform, so that unknown weight or the magnitude exerts the force on this platform. This platform is placed on the lever, which is one end is hinged and the other end is free. That is placed on the big lever. Big lever. This big lever is hinged at one point. Other end is connected to the tension bar. When you apply the force by keeping the unknown magnitude on the platform, which pulls the tension bar, so that this beam, see here you have the poise weight WP, which gives you 0 to 9 or 1 to 10 kgs, or usually 0 to 9 kgs. Here you have WS. This is the standard dead weight based on the lever or the hook provided in the end of the scale, where you have to keep the dead weights. The manufacturer of the platform scale, he will supply the dead weights. The dead weights are available in the range of 10 into 2, 20 into 2, 50 into 1, 100 into 1, 200 into 1, like that. For measurement of 43 kgs, for that what you have to do, keep 20 into 1, 10 into 2, the dead weights you have to keep in the hook, and move this poise lever to read 3, 4, 5, like that. When the beam moves up and down, that is the accurate measurement. So here number of levers are used. For that reason it is called multiple lever system. Then come to the point, the proving ring. See, all of you perform experiment on universal testing machine. See, as per the guidelines of the government, if you have any measuring instrument, it should be calibrated once in a year or twice in a year. Twice 2 years, once in the 2 years. So like that, you have to calibrate. So for calibration of universal testing machine, you can use the proving ring. So this is the standard instrument. So here the balance of the reed or thread. See, all of you observe here, you have a circular ring. On the circular ring, there will be 2 anvils are there, which are placed diametrically opposite to each other. And the center of the anvil, there will be a reed, that's the thread. It is hinged at the one end of the thread, and one end of the thread is locked to the circular portion of the ring. See, this is the micrometer scale. Keep this in between the 2 jaws of the UTM and apply the load. Say, before calibrating universal testing machine, adjust the scale to read 0 in universal testing machine as well as in the proving ring. So after bringing the proving ring to null balance, then apply the load in intervals. Apply the load in intervals. Suppose you have any error in the universal testing machine, that can be calibrated, rectified, and removed by using proving ring. Then apply the load on the proving ring so that the reed oscillates left side and right side. Then it will come to the standstill position. Suppose if it is come to the 0 reading, then there will be no error in the UTM. If the thread or reed reads the 2 divisions left side or 2 divisions or right side, so that there will be error. Then by adjusting the loading system in the UTM, you can calibrate the universal testing machine. Proving ring is the instrument where you can use it for calibration of high calibration of heavy measuring machines. See, all of you observe here, compression type proving ring with vibrating reed. Reed means thread. Next, come to the point. The next, yesterday we discussed about the torque measurement. Torque is nothing but a force acting and into radius of the reaction Rm, T into R. Force T equal to F into R. The T is the torque and F is the force in newtons and R is the radius of the reaction Rm. That is nothing but the force into radial distance. That is F into R. The torque measuring instruments is called as dynamometers. Is called as dynamometers. There will be 3 types of dynamometers are available for torque measurement. The first one is absorption dynamometer. The name itself indicates absorption. That is, whichever the torque developed by the engine or any prime mover, this particular absorption dynamometer absorbs the torque and gives the reading, that is in kg or kg meter or Newton meter. Usually absorption type dynamometers are used in measurement of torque. So after completion of lockdown, if you come to the college, I will show you in our mechanical laboratory, we have absorption dynamometer, and this is the easy and you have accurate measurement available using absorption dynamometer for measurement of torque. Next, you come to the point, driving dynamometer. Driving, the name itself indicates, suppose if you want to measure the torque produced by the engine, produced by the motor, or produced by the pump, that can be measured by using driving dynamometer. So in this, what will happen? The driving dynamometer is nothing but the, for example, consider the engine. The shaft of the engine is directly coupled to the alternator or something electrical loading system. From that, you can drive the dynamometer. Usually, that dynamometer has the alternator which produces electrical current. Whichever the torque produced by the engine, that is in terms of electrical current, that is amperes. After that, convert that amperes into the torque developed by the engine. That is nothing but that is in Newton meters. Next, come to the point, transmission dynamometer. Transmission, one place to the other place. So for this is also used in measurement of torque developed by the motor. Torque developed by the motor. That is nothing but the motor is, say for example, the motor, induction motor is directly coupled to the alternator. Directly coupled to the alternator by using flange coupling. Once if you start the motor with the high speed or maximum speed, then you can measure the torque in terms of electrical output. That is in kg or in newtons. Hello. Good morning. Class ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, 5 ನಿಮಿಷ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. The name itself indicates transmission dynamometer. That is the transmission of power developed by the electrical motor is directly coupled to the alternator. From the alternator, you can measure the torque produced by the motor. That's in electrical output. That's in electrical current. That's in Newton meters. Here you have three types of dynamometers. One is absorption dynamometer, driving dynamometer, and transmission dynamometer. Next, come to the point. This is all of you observe here. This is the common type of absorption or mechanical dynamometer, and also it is called as Prony brake. It is called as Prony brake. See here, this is the shaft coming from the engine. This is the shaft coming from the engine, rotating in the clockwise direction, on which you have a wooden eyelets or wood eyelets. Usually it's called as wooden eyelets. Wooden eyelets means all of you seen the brake pad. All of you seen the brake pad of the two-wheeler or brake pad used in the car or truck. All of you seen. It looks like a arc with thickness of 10 millimeter thickness of arc and width of 2 inches, used in all the two-wheelers as a brake pad. Brake pad. Once if you apply the brake, or if you press the brake lever, what will happen? The brake pad moves outward direction, circumferential outward direction, so that which makes the drum, which is directly connected to the shaft of the engine, which makes the presses the shaft through the drum or pulley, so that the movement, that is the rotation of the wheel of the engine or the shaft, which come to the standstill position or lower speed. Remember, this wooden eyelets presses the pulley, which is directly connected to the shaft of the engine. When you press the lever, then what will happen? Which presses the movement or rotation of the pulley. In turn, the pulley is connected to the engine, so that the shaft, rotation of the shaft, come to lower speed or standstill position, stops, standstill position or stops. All of you observe here, you have a lever which is connected by the U-shaped lever. From that, the one end is connected to the platform scale. One end is connected to the platform scale, and keep the force. All of you observe here. This and indicates, this arrow mark indicates apply the load on the lever provided here. So that the rotation of the engine come to the slower speed or standstill position by applying the pressure on the pulley which is connected to the shaft of the engine. So this is the principle of operation of absorption or absorption dynamometer or mechanical dynamometer, also which is called as Prony brake. Prony brake. All of you observe here what all the components present here. This is the wooden eyelets. This is the shaft which is directly connected to the engine shaft, on which there will be a pulley. One end of the shaft which is have the pulley. On the pulley you have wooden eyelets. That wooden eyelets are made in the arc shape, so that if you apply the pressure, if you apply the brake, it presses the pulley, so that the rotation of the shaft come to the standstill position or stops. So in this experiment, what you have to do, apply the load in terms of force on the platform scale, so that the running or rotation of the engine shaft, which is come to the slower speed or which come to the halt position. This is the principle of operation of the absorption dynamometer or mechanical dynamometer, and also it is called as Prony brake. All of you, please write down the question. All of you, please write down the question. What is a dynamometer? What is dynamometer? Put a question mark. What is a dynamometer? Put a question mark. Continue the question. Explain briefly. Explain briefly with the neat sketch. Explain briefly with the neat sketch. Absorption type. Absorption type. Mechanical. Absorption type. Mechanical dynamometer. Dynamometer. or Prony brake or Prony brake or Prony brake. Say this is a very important. All of you mark it very important. You can expect this question in the examination. You can expect this question in the examination. Say, all of you observe here, the force in terms of newtons, the force is in terms of newtons, and the distance from the center of the shaft to the force, that is the force into radial distance, that is R. Force is F and distances are torque T equal to F into R. That is the experiment you have to conduct in the mechanical laboratory at different intervals of the speed of the engine. Next, come to the point, hydraulic dynamometer. Hydraulic dynamometer. This is also absorption type of dynamometer. The name itself indicates the hydraulic. Hydraulic means water used as the restriction system or the liquid used in the hydraulic dynamometer. All of you observe here. You have a shaft. Say, all of you observe here. This is the shaft which is directly coupled to the engine. Directly coupled to the engine. And you have a vertical chamber like this. In the vertical chamber like this, in the center of the chamber, there will be a flywheel. Very big flywheel of a diameter 1 meter or 2 meter diameter. Flywheel is present here, which is placed on the shaft, which is directly coupled to the engine. It is directly coupled to the engine. And the next, come to the point. In the top, you have the water inlet. In the bottom, you have the water outlet. And this shaft are placed on the bearings. All of you observe here. Here you have 4 bearings, ball bearing with a plumber block. They placed on the concrete table or concrete placed on the concrete slab, and which is directly coupled to the engine. Say, this is the principle of operation. Is very simple. Say, fill the chamber with 1/3 of the water. That is nothing but 1/3 of the flywheel should be immersed in the water. 1/3 of the flywheel should be immersed in the water. Then, if you start the engine, this flywheel starts to rotate in the clockwise direction. That right rotation of this flywheel is restricted or limited by the water present in the chamber. Restricted or limited or slows down the rotation of the flywheel inside the chamber. So from this, you can measure the torque with the speed of the shaft. You can measure the speed of the shaft in RPM by using tachometer. By using tachometer here, fill the chamber with 1/4 of water, half of water, 3/4 of water, and full of water with the chamber. Note down the speed of the shaft. Speed of the shaft. From that, you can calculate the torque. You can calculate the torque produced by the engine. Torque produced by the engine. So here you have the equation. That's the common relationship. Torque T equal to force into radial distance. That is, the force is available, but you can convert the rotation of the shaft into force by using the relation. Then calculate the force, and you know the radius of this flywheel. Then substitute the values in the equation. You will get the torque. T equal to F into R. Once again, the principle of operation. This shaft rotates with the high speed, and this chamber is filled with water at the position of 1/4, half, 3/4, and full, and start to rotate the flywheel inside the chamber and measure the shaft speed in RPM by using tachometer, and get various intervals: quarter, half, 3/4, and full. Then substitute the values in the force calculation using the relationship. Then substitute the value in the torque equation. T equal to F into R. F into R. All of you observe here. So you have the equation. You can calculate the BHP 2 pi FR divided by 3,300. By using the relationship, you can calculate the torque. Next, come to the point. All of you see the transmission dynamometer. See, this is the integral part of the engine. The outside of the engine shaft is coupled with the pulley. All of you observe here, pulley, and the center of the pulley is connected to the circumference of the pulley with the strain gauges. All of you observe here, the strain gauges on the beam. Say, the center of the shaft, which is connected to the circumference of the pulley by using strain gauges. That circumference can be connected by using the beam. On the beam, place the strain gauges. Or fix the strain gauges. Then couple this shaft to the motor. Then couple this shaft to the motor, and start the motor to run at different speed intervals. Say maximum speed is 4,000 RPM. Then you can note down the reading of the strain gauges at different speed. For example, 1,000 RPM, 2,000 RPM, 3,000 RPM, and 4,000 RPM. Due to the rotation of this pulley along with the shaft, and which is connected by beam, there will be change in the resistance of the strain gauges. By using Wheatstone bridge, you can note down the change in the resistance. That can be calibrated in terms of torque. That is in Newton meters. This is the transmission dynamometer. The name itself indicates the transmission. That is the transmission of torque from motor to the pulley. And pulley has a beam on which you can fix the strain gauges. Due to the change in the resistance in the strain gauge, you can convert the resistance into torque by using the relationship. That is torque T equal to force into resistance. All of you please write down the question. Write down the question. Explain briefly. Explain briefly with the need sketch. Need sketch. Hydraulic dynamometer. Explain briefly with need sketch. Hydraulic dynamometer. Put a question mark. Continue the question. Continue the question. List the applications. List the applications. Next, all of you write down one more question. Explain briefly. Explain briefly with a suitable sketch. With a suitable sketch. The transmission dynamometer. Transmission dynamometer. Transmission dynamometer. Put a question mark. Continue the question. List the advantages. List the advantages. This is the last portion in torque measurement. Now I stop at this stage. I will continue in the next class. Now I make unmute to all. Ganesh, can you listen?
Yes, sir.
Karthik?
Sir.
Now I stop at this stage, and please all of you join HOD class at 12:30. Okay, now I stop at this stage. I will continue in the next class.
Okay.